first of all, Lydia, tell me some things about the Greek audience, some of your memories maybe from your concert some weeks ago.
Well, I always love going to Athens, of course, and I love the audience there because they really, in that circumstance, especially an intimate club, I mean, people can really pay attention to the emotions and the points I'm trying to express. And it was very timely that I left, even though there were protests the night of my show, not against me or in my honor, but I'm very fortunate to have left before all of this recent rioting.
Yes, so Lydia, the Ghost of Spain seems to me in a way like a lifetime statement. Do you agree?
Well, I've been living now in Spain for 4 years, and obviously wherever I'm living or is going to impact the kind of material I'm doing, and it started from the song The Ghost of Spain, which is about both the Spanish amnesia about their own civil dead, which only now are they admitting and digging up the bodies that Franco murdered for decades, Spanish amnesia, and when we then go on from Spain's war, I also impose the present war, because to me all wars are one war. It's man against man because of God, because of land, because of oil. It's based on stupidity, arrogance, and fear. I can never stop speaking about the war because it will never go away. But back to the amnesia. Amnesia, ghosts, loneliness, longing, the desert, and all the themes that are present to me now. And, the desert is a very magical place. First of all, the apparent absence of human life is very mysterious, because it doesn't mean there isn't life there. There's just not so much life that we see. So just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The same as just because we don't hear something doesn't mean it's not audible on another level. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the themes and topics I'm discussing in a place full of magic and mystery and horror and beauty.
Yes, I think you remember TVI from the Stooges.
Yes, of course.
We're living in television times. Do you think so?
It's horrifying. One has to ask. First of all, I love being alive in these times, because to me this is really, with television, with the internet, with the access, it's the pinnacle. But is it any different than the Middle Ages? Is it any different than the Roman marauding? Is it any different than the Viking slaughters? Has man not always been this insane, and maybe we just have more immediate access to all the places that are going insane at once? Or are times really multiplied by the horrors of the past? I can't answer this question. I can only propose poetry to try to address it, because
yes.
To me, there's always been this madness, but now we have 24-hour access on multiple channels on the internet, and part of the campaign of fear is to show us this at all times. Now unfortunately you in Athens are living in this, and I have very contrary emotions about what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government has a secret type of anarchy. They commit against all of us. And then when people actually rise up into the streets, it's great to see people making an impassioned protest, but are they targeting the right places? No small shop owner needs this disaster. No innocent person. So again, it goes back to, who decides? Mm-hmm. Who decides what should burn? Yes, we are getting flayed alive, stabbed, impoverished, polluted, corrupted, corroded by the governments all over the world. How do we fight back against them with sense, with purpose, and with direct aim? This is the question. I'm not saying I have the answer. I understand, though, when people cannot stand it another minute, and I'm surprised America is not in this state. I remember riots from when I was 8 years old. There were riots in my hometown, and they made a difference ultimately. So I don't know. It's a very intense time.
Lydia, what is rock and roll for you nowadays? I mean, beyond the music industry.
I mean, you could propose the question too. What is punk rock? Because I mean, both rock and roll or punk rock.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I feel an outsider of, because I feel I'm much more in heritage with surrealist, Dadaist, free jazz. But all of that, and rock, and punk, and jazz, is about a spirit. I mean, it doesn't. The spirit translates into the music. I mean, that's how it expresses itself. But it's really about a spirit. It's about a vibrant, alive, sexy, volatile, emotional state. So however that's expressed, I mean, all of the adjectives I use in my work, but I'm not using rock and roll at this moment. I'm using psychoambience. So I would say that my spirit, although I have never considered myself rock or punk rock, but I think my spirit is rooted in blues, rock, jazz, Dadaism, and all the above.
Can we expect a new album sometime soon? Do you
Always.
have something in mind? Always.
Well, and actually, speaking of rock,
Yes.
I mean, I recorded something very harsh and very rock with Halo of Flies last year, a 3-song single, which was really, I mean, harking back to the days of Jesus Lizard and the Birthday Party, really very ugly rock, and something very dear to my heart, a la you mentioned TVI. And I'm beginning to work now in January with James Johnston and Ian White, who I've been working with on and off for years, but working now on a hard rock album, a return to this other format, which I dabble in here and there. But now I think is a time for really some, as you said, raging rock, and now I go in that direction, splintering once again in my musical schizophrenia.